Now let us see few programming data structure interview questions and answers. First is, what is data structure? What do we mean by data structure? So the logical and mathematical model of a particular organization of data is called the data structure. So there are two types of, this is a different question actually altogether. How many types of data structures are there? So there are two types of data structure, linear as well as non-linear. So let me tell you again that basically the data structure is the data, and along with the structure means the structure you have devised, and that structure is the model, which can be logical or mathematical model, and there is a certain type of organization of that data in that mathematical or logical model, and this is called the data structure. Next is, what is linked list? What is linked list? So as the name suggests, a list of data items which are linked in certain manner. They are known as linked list. So linked list is a linear collection of data items. So this is a linear collection of data items. These are called nodes. And where this linear node is, or linear order, which we are talking about, is why this is linear connection, because this are in linear order, and this linear order is given by the pointers. So pointers. So each node has two parts. For example, this node has two parts. The first part contains the data element, or the you can say the data or the information of the, and the second part, this part contains the address of the second node. This is the second node, so it contains the address areas of this node. So eventually we find that these nodes are logically scattered into the memory, so there is no need of contiguous allocation. First you have a header HDR, and this will have the address of the first node, because first node, how to get the address of the first node? So you have header which have the address of the first node, and the last one, the address is null. We are talking about the singly or single linked list. This is what we call as linked list. This is also a data structure. What is a queue? And this data structure is a linear data structure. What is a queue? Queue, the way you stand in a queue to say reserve tickets. So a queue is an again ordered collection of items from which items may be deleted at one end. So if this is a queue, so data can be deleted from, say, this end. Only data can be deleted at the one end, that is, you can call it as a front end, and the item can be inserted at the rear end. Only the items can be inserted here and can be deleted here. And this obeys what we call as a first in first out rule, and there is no limit to the number of elements a queue may contain, and this depends on how you actually implement it. If you use this array, then there may be the size aspect, but otherwise not. What is a spanning tree? Spanning tree is related to the graph. Actually, tree comes with the graph only, and I'm talking about the spanning tree, which has come up from the graph. What exactly minimum spanning tree we use in various optimization problem, real life problems. So spanning tree is a tree associated with a network. It is a tree associated with a network, and all the nodes of the graph, as we said that it has come from graph, so all the nodes of the graph appear on the tree once, only once. So a minimum spanning tree, we should know about this also, is a spanning tree organized such that the total edge weight between the nodes is minimized. Okay. If graph has nodes and edges, okay, so if these are the nodes and these are the edges, so this is a kind of graph. So the spanning tree is, once you start from here, move to this point, move to this point, move to this point. So you have traversed all the nodes or visited all the nodes once. This is the spanning tree, and the tree is when there is no cycle. If you visit in a way such that it makes a cycle, then it will not be a spanning tree. While the minimum spanning tree is, there are two ways. One way I showed you. There can be another way. You can start from here, visit this point and come back here. So in this case, you have visited all the nodes and also visited, taken the path where the nodes you have collected and added up or summed up, the weight of the node or the weight of this tree is the minimum. What is precision? This often comes as a question with precision and accuracy. Accuracy and precision. So precision refers to the accuracy of the decimal portion of a value. In this case, data structures, etc. We are talking about the accuracy in terms of the precision, accuracy in terms of the decimal portion of a value. So precision is the accuracy of the decimal portion of a value, and precision is the number of digits allowed after the decimal point. If you say 2.6, then the precision is 1. If you say 2.61, the precision goes to 2, and likewise add 2, precision is 3. What are the goals of data structure? Why do we need? What is the aim of the data structure? So the goals of data structure, they are varied and many, but the basic is it must be rich enough. It must be rich enough in structure to reflect the actual relationship of data in real world. So the structure should be simple enough for efficient processing of data. So whenever you are talking about a data structure, then you are actually dealing with the real world, real life problem, and real life data can be placed in such a data structure so that the access and the modification, like insertion, deletion, or traversing, these should be as efficient as possible. Next question is, what is the difference between a stack and an array? A stack and an array. See, the stack is a data structure. It is implemented sometimes by arrays only, or many a times by arrays. There is a difference between a stack and an array. First is the stack. We'll see about the stack, then we'll go to the array. Stack is a dynamic object whose size is constantly changing as the items are pushed and popped. So if this is a stack, then the items are pushed in and they are popped out from the top. So stack may contain different data types. This is very important. Stack may contain different data types also, where the array cannot. And stack is declared as a data structure containing an array to hold the elements of the stack and an integer to indicate the current stack top within that array. So if you are creating or implementing stack with an array, then in this case, this array, you also have to have a integer to indicate the top of the array, because everything is happening in the top only. You are adding the value, so it will whenever you insert the value, the top will point to the topmost value. You are removing the value, topmost value will be decremented by 1. Okay. Then stack is an ordered collection of items. Stack is an ordered collection of items. Next is array. So array is again an ordered collection of items as stack is. Array is a static object. That means the size is fixed, the data is fixed, because the containment of the array can only be of same data types. So array is a static object. It does not vary. If array you have defined array size 10, then it will not be going to be 11 anytime. So it will result in out of bound array. Array can be home of a stack, as we said that we can implement the array or stack with an array. So array can be home of a stack, that is array can be declared large enough of maximum size of the stack. So what you can do is you can create an array and then you start filling in values from here, and the topmost value will be you can have some variable which is pointing to the topmost value, so it can grow. You can put some maximum value, that beyond this is not going to enhance or increase. So this is what is the array implementation of stack. What is sequential search? First of all, search is the finding of values, or if there is some value, you have to search from a group of values, whether it is present or not. That is the searching of value. Sequential search is one by one searching. So in a sequential search, each item in the array is compared with the item being searched until a match occurs. So it is applicable to a table which is organized either as an array or say as a linked list. Then what are the disadvantages array implementation of linked list? If you implement the linked list with an array, after all you can implement stack with an array, you can implement linked list with an array, but there are two ways. There are various ways. Two ways of them is, first you can implement the linked list with an array, or you can also implement the linked list with pointers. So the number of nodes needed can't be predicted when the program is written, and the number of nodes declared must remain allocated throughout its execution. These are the disadvantages of array implementation of linked list. What is a priority queue? There are various types of queues. Priority queue is the queue in which there is one more value which is called as the priority, which checks for the priority. So the priority queue is again a data structure, because queue is a data structure in which the intrinsic ordering of the elements is present. What are the disadvantages of sequential storage? If you want to store one by one, what is the sequential storage? Array follows this sequential storage, and if you talk about this stack or linked list, of course, linked list is not a sequential storage. Whether the ordering is sequential, but the storage is not sequential in linked list. So the fixed amount of storage remains allocated to the data structure, even if it contains less element. Then there will be a wastage of space. So no more than fixed amount of storage is allocated, which can cause the overflow also. Define the circular list. We have seen the linked list. Now we will talk about the circular list. So in a linear list, the next field of the last node always contain if you visit this last node, the address will be null, null. Okay, so it will not have any address. But when the next field in the last node contains the pointer of back of the first node, the first node address will be in the last node. So this is called the circular list. What does abstract data type mean? ADT. We have talked about the data type. What is abstract data type then? Data type is a collection of values and a set of operation on this value. And abstract data type refers to the mathematical concept that define the data type. So abstract data type are the organization of the set of values with certain operations on it, defined on it. What do you mean by recursive definition? Recursive means calling itself. So what do you mean by recursive definition? The definition which defines an object in terms of simpler cases of itself is called the recursive definition. The definition which is defining objects in terms of simpler cases of itself. This is very important. We are starting with a definition which is defining itself, or you can say calling itself. This is a recursive definition. What actions are performed when a function is called? When a function is called, what can be the actions which can be performed? First is, when a function is called, the arguments are to be passed. You pass the actual parameters to the formal parameters which were defined when the function was written, or when the function is written, it does not contain any value. It is just a formal value. So actual value will be passed only when the function is called, and local variables are allocated and they are initialized, and the transferring of control to the function will be done. Define the double linked list or doubly linked list. So it is again a collection of data elements called the nodes, where each node is divided into three parts. What are these three parts? First is the info field that contains the information about stored in the node, that is the data. The left field that contains the pointer to the node on left side. This node. This again node will have three parts, and the right field that will contain the pointer to the node on the right side. This will also contain three parts. This is the doubly linked list. What do you mean by overflow and underflow? When a new data is to be inserted into a data structure, the data structure we have talked about, but there is no available space. You want to insert, but space is not there. That is, the free storage list is empty. This situation is called the overflow. And what about underflow? When you want to delete an item, but there is no element in the data structure, means the data structure is empty. How you are going to delete it? This is the underflow. Okay. So whether linked list is linear or non-linear data structure. So linear or non-linear depends on the way we are viewing the linked list. So according to the access strategy, linked list is linear. If you want to access, because one by one the nodes are there, and these nodes are having the address of the next node. So you go sequentially only. While if you are talking about the storage, because one node may be here, another node may be here, this node may be here, this kind of pointing can be there. So this, according to the storage, linked list is a non-linear 1. What do you mean by a free pool? Free pool. See, pool is a list which contain or consists of unused memory cells which has its own pointer. Again, pool, which is a free pool, is a list. It is a list only, which consists of unused memory cells, which has its own pointer. What are the methods available in storing sequential files? What are the methods? You want to store sequential file. What are the methods? So first is your straight merging, natural merging, polyphase sort, and distribution of initial runs. What is a node class? Node class. See, a node class is a class that has added new services or functionality beyond the services inherited from the base class. Again, the node class is a class only that has added its certain new services or functionality beyond the services which is inherited from the base class. What is a binary tree? What is a binary tree? A binary tree is a tree data structure in which each node has at most 2 child nodes. So a node can have 0 child node, a node can have one child node, or the node can have at most 2 child nodes. This is generally referred to as a left child node or right child node, or left subtree or right subtree, because if the left and right can also be a binary tree. So these are a few questions on data structures. Thank you so much. Take care.